Welcome back to Snacktown Garage, guys. On this episode, we're back on Austin's 56 Chevy. We're working on getting this 12 valve Cummins that's hiding down in there set in place. Once we get that in place, we're going to get this cab moved forward so we can get her lined up where she's sitting. She needs to come forward a bunch. But we're going to start first on that motor and see how far we can make it. We got a lot of things we want to accomplish. Don't know how far we're going to make it. We're going to try to get this firewall cut and the cab moved forward. Start on some cab mounts, maybe some bed mounts, mounting the rear end. The rear end's just sitting underneath there, so stick around, be a pretty good one. I'm thinking what we're going to start on here is, if you notice, the motor's sitting all wonky. We're going to get that straightened up. But, well, I guess first thing is we're going to lose the doghouse. We're going to get it set off to the side, get this engine setting straight. And the engine's actually pretty close as far as front to back is where it needs to go. But what needs to happen is that firewall needs cut and everything come forward. If you see our wheel well, everything is slid far back because that engine is under the firewall. And I'll go ahead and address it. A lot of the people in the comments on the last video said to lift the body. That's not going to get us what we need, because we would literally have to lift it that much right there on that manifold. And then even if you lift it that 4 inches, then that valve cover is hitting. So at that point, you're lifting the cab 8 inches off the frame. We're not doing that. So unfortunately, it's got to be cut. I'm probably going to try to keep it on this body line and that bead line over there, and replace from here to over there and replace just this section. And that should give us enough to slide in. We're going to try to cut it nice to where we could reuse this if it's practical. I don't know that that's practical, but I'm going to cut it right here. Just give us a little bit of a flange where we can make a new piece of material to go in there. So that's where we're going to start at. I'll throw you guys up on time lapse. We'll get this thing tore down and get that situated, and then we'll start cutting on that firewall. Well, that took a lot longer than it should have, but it wasn't bad. That body saw I'm using is not the friendliest, so I just ended up using the old slice and dice. But while we were hacking on this, I took a quick break and I realized something. The truck that we took the dash out of for Alicia's van out here has got quite the recess in the firewall. So we're going to probably hack that big old chunk out rather than me trying to make that and reinvent the wheel. I think we'll cut that out and see what we can use of it. At least use the recess of it.
Is this going to be in the way, this dash brace?
I'll have to go back on the firewall, but no, that shouldn't be in our way. Okay. But the reason I cut this size so big is I didn't want to cut through something like this and then try to have to match it. Right now I can butt this up to that and it would be that lip. And then my plan was to recreate that triangle with the bead roller right here and make them look more uniform. But we're going to cut that one out and see what we get. But I think what I'm going to have Austin do, we're going to push this outside. This thing is absolutely filthy. That is all Kansas dirt. So I think I'm going to push this outside and let Austin power wash it inside and out and power wash some of this gunk off the frame. And while he does that, I'll tear apart the dash or the firewall on that other truck. Worst case scenario, if I cut all this out and if the parts that we need are rotten, we know that we can cut this out of another 60 to 63 Chevy truck and use that part out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, this one's extremely rotten.
It's definitely larger though, the whole width of it is.
Yeah. And we may put it up there and it not fit for crap, and I just throw this right back in the scrap. I don't know.
Yeah. It's worth a try though before you fabricate a bunch of stuff. Okay then. Is that how you remove a firewall?
By the manual it is. Got it.
What a prize. Oh. She's a beauty.
She's a beaut, Clark.
She's definitely bigger.
I think it was meant to be.
This sticks out further than this, but you're gonna shape it around that, you think?
I don't know. This firewall is taller from here to here where it bends.
Right.
Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, the bend is lower here. Mm-hmm. So if you use this, you'll have to mold that.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, like corners above the gas pedals, I think. No, probably right there.
Yeah.
Is that pedal supposed to go through that hole in the floor on his?
I cut his pedal off.
Right, but the hole in the floor,
That's for brake.
that's the brake.
I think what we need to do is just start chipping away at it. But I think what I want to do to make life easier on us, I think what I want to do is take it back off the frame and get it on some sawhorses in here.
The cab?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to deal with this while I'm sitting there. trying
Yeah. Well, I think that's fair because you need to take it off anyways to get the rest of these RV things
Yeah.
off of there.
Yeah.
You know, those official named things.
Yeah. So I think that'll be the next step.
I like it though.
Well, it's been a few weeks since we filmed on this. We've got Austin's cab up here on some sawhorses to hold this up. I want to start working on this firewall, and we have this piece that we cut out of the donor truck out there. I'm hoping to clean this up and use a big portion of this, and then Austin is out there. He's out there getting the frame cleaned up, getting a lot of tubing off of it and stuff like that, so that this cab can be set back on there and set right. So But I throw you guys up on time lapse and start digging into this chunk here that we hope to use a big portion of this recess. So I'll get that stripped down and get her ready to start trying to mock up. If this doesn't go very well, I'm going to put this firewall portion on hold and try to do this by hand once I get a few more tools in our arsenal. So, but I'm gonna see what I can get done and see how well I can make that look in here. Got that lip all cut off. Let's see how well she fits now. Get in the hole. Ouch. I don't know how I did that so easy the first time by myself. I can't manage to make it work. Like a bud. Can't seem to make it work with the hole being bigger and the piece smaller. Beautiful. Weld it. It's not horrible. The problem we're getting into, this piece is too high, and the top, our orange replacement piece is too tall from here to the top of it, so it's not wanting to fit there, but it's topped out up here. So I'm not sure if we should cut it and slide it down, or I don't know how much to jack with this to try to make something fit that doesn't belong versus making something new. You know what I'm saying, bud?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that ain't gonna hurt nothing having that lip go up in there. It's gonna make it hard to get in there and weld it up. I could weld this way, I guess. But then we're still fighting here. I don't know. We can try cutting it long ways and cutting a piece out of it. Cut it down here where it's more uniform and cut an inch out of it. But like I said, I don't want to put a whole bunch of work into something that's going to look like garbage. We're definitely going to have to use it. We're going to have to shorten it. All right. Other than that, it looks plausible to make work. Other than it's a tad bit too tall. So where do we cut? Do we cut up here and fold it over? We cut a section out of the middle and slide it down and butt weld it, like cut this hole out, or like right there on that lip, on that bubble. We'll cut this out. It's not going to line up perfect because you're on a kind of a funnel. And we don't need this per se. That's what I was talking about a little bit ago when it was on time lapses. I think if this came out and over, or came at that angle and over, I think that would be fine. But our biggest problem is oh yeah, that doesn't go that far. That only goes to right here for you viewers at home. The inside, the cowl vent area is the bottom of it's right there. So, and this corner's hitting harder than the rest for some reason. What do you think, buddy? Which way should we go about it? You make the call. It's your truck. Huh? You don't know. Well, if we cut this side off too, that gets rid of that brace. We don't have to have that in our way. And I just hate to do a whole bunch of work and end up with a hodgepodge. I guess we'll think on it a minute and turn it back on once we figure out a decision. Well, there's where we're at for now. I'll clean this up. You guys see me beating on it. I have stuff ordered to build a planishing hammer, so I'll clean this up once all that comes in. It was supposed to ship 2 days ago, and that stuff hasn't even shipped yet, so we're a little delayed on that, but I think that's gonna pull us up in the firewall enough to make this bend on the two pieces on the cab and that piece line up right there. So let's go out here and check in on Austin and see how he's making it along. It's a lot nicer than what it has been outside, but it is still pretty warm. It's still 82 degrees, but the humidity is significantly less than what it has been. How's it going, buddy?
Pain.
A pain? You got them almost all knocked off, though. I just need some cleanup work. This had tubing going all the way across there. If you guys haven't seen the other episodes, this was an RV chassis, and they had that junk 2x tubing laying over there running across the frame. So he's getting rid of all that. But this back here, well, none of it has to be perfect, but we'll make it as good as we can. This back here will have a board between it and the flatbed mount, so not a huge ordeal if that's perfect, because nobody will ever be able to see it again. So keep up the good work, buddy. I think next on the chassis, once we get the body all mocked up, we need to get that rear end mounted. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's just been hanging out underneath there so we can make it roll around the shop. So let's go in here and see if we can make this piece fit in the firewall. So I think I can make this lip work by cutting this back here, and that stuff will all line up. Our goal eventually is to make them butt together. This isn't horrible. I could bring this. I'm not sure which way to go with this. Because see, I have this step, but we're talking about cutting this all off and bringing this around and making a 45 right here to maintain that foot room and the steering column mount. So that could just kind of come in here, and then all this down here can go away when we weld this in. It'd be nice to keep this, because this is the throttle pedal mount for the 60s cab. So we just got to adjust this basically. We got to get this to pull down, and probably need to take this piece here off. Let's look at it from the inside. You hand me that flashlight, buddy? Let's see if we can change this, yeah. Guess it's not horrible. See, if we bring that straight forward, that eliminates all this, which won't be bad. Stinks this is so rotten on the bottom. But I do like the idea of getting away with this. Let me come around to that side and look over there, buddy. So essentially, we just need to massage some of this bend out and probably get rid of this piece, I think. I think that's the next place to go, is get rid of this bud, get rid of these spot welds that's on this. This can be massaged to lay down pretty easy, I do believe, and make it match. We'll clean it up, probably get rid of this whole lip on here, probably cut that whole lip out, and then we'll have to build a new tunnel. We'll put your tunnel we'll put your tunnel back in and then make a piece that matches it. I think your tunnel was a couple inches, but so I guess let's do that. Let's take that back out, and I'll cut all above this, and then on the outside I'll cut the got my marker here. Then over here, I think we'll cut all this area out. Come all the way down like that. And then we're going to cut this whole lip out and make that lay down. I think once this lip is cut, this will lay down pretty easy. This we'll just have to make. Not sure how much of that we'll take out yet. Not sure where we'll go right there yet. This we'll probably just leave for now and cut this off down here and start there. So let's get that bottom cut off. Well, I think that's going to be good enough for now. And before I get carried away making the piece for this side and filling this gap, I want to set this back on the frame and set the motor in there and make sure that I don't need this recess. My concern, let me set this light down. I want to make sure I don't need this. I'm pretty sure I don't. But I want to know for a fact before I cut this out and create a headache for myself that I have to put that back. So I think that's going to be it for now until Austin gets done with the frame. So let's go check on him. The goal right now is get this body on the frame, get the drivetrain set back in there, and see where our drivetrain's going to sit. See if we need to move more on that firewall. But how's it going, buddy?
Good.
Slow?
Yeah, it's going to be a pain running the rivets.
Yeah, take them off if you have to. That's not doing nothing but holding that exhaust hanger on there.
Yeah.
So no big deal. I'll probably run a cord out here and help you on this. Or actually, we can go ahead and set the cab on here. That stuff's not going to matter because we're going to raise the cab. What I'm getting at is what you're doing doesn't have to be done for us to do our mock-up. So we can go ahead and set your drivetrain in here, set your cab on here, and make sure what I'm doing with the firewall is going to work. If we know that's going to work, then I can keep going with that and get that welded in. So let's get this mocked up and make sure what we're doing on the firewall's all right. Well, fiddle farts. After fighting this thing for well over an hour, getting everything kind of positioned in there and halfway getting the wheels lined up in the wheel well, and the cab still needs to come forward more, but we're hitting the exhaust manifold. So the very bottom back here is hitting. It might not be hitting this exact second, but it was, and we're not getting enough because it still needs to come forward about 2 inches. So, which if we get it, I think the motor can stay there, but the cab's got to come forward 2 inches, and that's still going to make us really tight up here on getting a intercooler and a radiator in there. So fiddle farts. That is not going to be enough. Dang it. But that's the way it goes, right? So, I'm not sure what the next plan of attack is to make something work in there. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know. Right now, I can get my fingers on that exhaust manifold, or between the exhaust manifold and the tin, but that's not enough. So, and like I said, we still need to come forward quite a bit. So I hope to get that done this video, but I think we're going to call it a wrap for right now. And we'll hit it again in a week or two and see what I can come up with to make that clear. Probably just going to have to build something from scratch, I guess. I don't know what the answer is.
All in all, from a distance, it looks really good.
Yeah. Just don't look under the hood, because there's enough room for nothing else. Oh, that's the way it goes, though. Mock up and mock up and mock up and take it apart and put it together 15 times, because basically what this translates to is we got to take this all back apart. We can probably leave the motor sitting there, I guess. We can probably leave the motor sitting there and take the cab and the doghouse off and do more with that firewall. I don't know what the answer is there as far as stretching that back. Maybe I can blister that area where the manifold is, but I don't know.
Like the position of the doghouse and the cab, it just isn't enough room.
No, the cab needs to come forward 6 inches. Well, not 6 inches, probably 3.
You can't finish where you need to put the cab, but all in all, if you could, you would like the positioning that everything's
I don't know yet. I don't know.
in. Or does that still not leave room? If all you do is move the cab forward because you make a bigger whatever, you still don't have room in the front. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think if we could get it forward another 2 or 3 inches, we could put a custom intercooler and radiator in there, I think.
With the space that's right there?
Yeah. Well, not with right here. If we move it forward 3 inches. If we move the cab and everything forward 3 inches, we'll have enough room up here. So, but I think we're going to call it a wrap on this one. Stay tuned for this one. And next video will probably be this. Alicia's been working hard on it. She's actually working on it right now. So hopefully have this one up to you this week yet. And that one will be this weekend. So we will catch you guys on next one. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification button. And we'll catch you guys on next one.